Show time.
One Piece Gold is one of my most anticipated films of 2017, just ahead of the Emoji Movie. Shocking, I know. Part of the reason is because I'm a One Piece fan, and this is the first One Piece film released in 4 years. The main reason, however, is I'm as big or bigger a fan of the Dragon Ball franchise, and evidently most of Toei's veteran animators skipped during Dragon Ball Super for Gold and a couple other projects. So because of that, we got the infamous Dragon Ball Super episode 5 and 12 and 24 and 25. Well, anyway, the point is I wanted to see what made the animators so excited for this new project. The story is, while on their way going nowhere in particular, the Straw Hats sail into a ship the size of a city. While there, they engage in some Turtle-mobile races, gambling, and such, only to find that the creator and owner of the place has some very nefarious intentions. So now let's take a look at some of the pros and cons of the film. The opening number. Pro. The soundtrack itself is great. We immediately meet the villain of the film and get a great idea of his personality. Plus, this was the first One Piece film in about 4 years, so I imagine a huge and elaborate opening set piece is what the fans were expecting, and it's what they got. Con. For the most part, the animation of the film and the opening number was great. It had great colors and fluid motion, the 2D animation anyway. The CGI stood out especially for the opening scene, and not in a good way. The structures and the background dancers, as at the start of the film, start looking fake when the camera pulls back. The CGI stands out for the rest of the film, but it doesn't really detract from the rest of the film because you're focusing mostly on the characters and they zoom in on them. Next, the art and character designs. As far as the main cast goes, it's a smooth transition from the TV series. Also, the secondary characters have a very old-ish flair to them. The special effects and the animation has a dark contrast to it, which gives the art a real nice richness. It makes sense since this takes place in a casino boat, and casinos are and have a more vibrant look at during nighttime. Also, I like the vehicle designs for the race. It's real easy to forget that cars exist in One Piece since it's a pirate series. It's hilarious that turtle power is used here to rev up the engine. What? No rabbits or horses? Con. Aside from a couple of characters, there's nothing new or incredibly different in the designs. The main villain guild is still the basic One Piece enemy design. A character that has a huge rectangular torso and long skinny legs. Yeah, because that's never been done before, right? Next, the characters. Everyone has a clear and understandable motivation. Also, we get more background on the character, Nami, who really hasn't had a lot to do in the series for years. On a side note, there is a good number of cameos through the film, so fans of the series should enjoy that. Continuity-wise, would this film take place after the Dressrosa arc? Con. As with most or almost all of the One Piece villains, they can be pretty one-note. Guild has some of this too, but because he's such a showman and has panache, you overlook that. You really don't go into any depth with any of the new characters except maybe one. Everyone has one defining trait, but if you're a fan of the series, you can easily overlook this. On a side note, while the cameos are fun, they weren't really needed. I get the feeling that they were added for one part fan service and one part to help pad out the runtime. And now the story and other miscellaneous stuff. The story was pretty enjoyable. We get to experience a new part of the One Piece world. It did make me think that the filmmakers took parts of this story from other One Piece arcs. For example, a huge ship mistaken for an island, Thriller Bark. A heist, Skypiea at one point, which had to be abandoned for reasons. Saving a crew member or friend, the Arlong Saga, War 7, Impel Down, etc. The action and comedy is fast and loose, just like the source material, so it's really fun and easy to get into. Next, continuity. There's no issues with continuity with this film since it is a film and it's not canon to the series. Most movies that are based on long-running series don't follow the continuity of the source material. Well, unless the creator says it does, like with Kishimoto with Naruto the last movie. The sub versus the dub. Both are great. The only issue I have with the dub is with the opening number. The English actors can sing, but the Japanese voice actors sounded more fluid. The issue might have to do with translating from Japanese to English though. So do I recommend this movie? Yes, no, maybe? Here's the thing. When it comes to Japanese animated films, there are three kinds. 1. Films not based on any source material that everyone can see. 2. Films based on source material that anyone can see. And 3. Films based on source material made only for the fans of the series. One Piece Gold is that third one. Movies like this seem to be made more as a reward for the fans for sticking with the series this long. So if you aren't a fan of One Piece, then don't see this. This film won't do anything to make you want to get into the series. If you are a One Piece fan, you need to catch up at least up through the Dressrosa arc in order to understand the impact of one of the cameos in the film. Despite that, as a fan of the series, this was a fun film. Hopefully One Piece fans won't have to wait another 4 years for another film. It's obvious that the animators were invigorated when they worked on this film. I just wish they could have worked on Dragon Ball Super as well. It took roughly 60 episodes before the art became consistently good in that series. So until my next review, please read more comic books from around the world and watch more 2D and stop motion animation. Venture on. And cue a random butt shot for kids, of course. Yoinks.